Hi, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? Today is another Saturday on Connect and Reflect. As your host, this is Adela Fatumbi, and I know we'll be having other co-hosts also joining us very soon on this channel. So, as usual, every Saturday we'll come with different relatable topics that comes to our fore. Like, would this really make sense? If you were in this person's shoe, what would you have done differently? Kind of questions. And here's another topic today. We'll be talking about late Chief Emmanuel Nwanyawu. That's his name. Allegedly, he said his wife, after his death, must not remarry to keep his legacy, to keep his inheritance. And if he chooses to remarry, then she needs to let go of the inheritance. That means she doesn't have any. So it's more or less like a conditional inheritance. So to you and I, does that really make sense? Or you think, wow, that's the best thing to do in order to keep your inheritance within your family? Because the moment this lady gets remarried, that means that inheritance, everything she owns, will be transferred to the new husband. Maybe that's the reason why the chief did that. Or you like, but you're gone. It shouldn't matter what happens to inheritance after your death. What matters, you should have trusted me enough to know that I'm gonna keep it. So what is your opinion about this? Like, is it like that conditional will make sense, or it needs to be revisited? Are we doing marriage for love? Is marriage now transactional, that you gotta maybe you marry me for money and I don't want you to get my money and go marry someone else? What does this make? Well, how does this mean to you? Let me put it that way. Yeah, how does this mean to you? Does it really make sense? So this thing has still a lot of conversation on the internet, saying that it's a conditional will, it's a conditional inheritance. And why will you keep a young lady in at 38 years old, thereabouts, keep her forever and say she must not remarry? Like, how can you control her on earth and you still want to control her while in your grave? That doesn't really make sense. You should not bother what happens after your death. That everything is vanity upon vanity. And if you had known that you wanted to keep your inheritance, you should have willed it to your children, not to your wife. Probably just will whatever you want to give her part of it, and will the rest for your children. If you want it to be a generational wealth, that you don't want it to leave your family, then why will you will it to her and give her a condition of not to remarry? So this and many more will be what we'll be discussing today. So this and many more is what we'll be discussing today. Is like, is it fair on the husband to control her while alive and still control the wife's life even when he's gone, dictating what she can do and what she cannot do in her life after you have gone? Is that not a selfish way of, dealing with a woman? Or it's like, oh, that is the best decision. So the choice is now hers to make whether she wants to stay or she wants to leave. She wants to remarry. So she needs to weigh which one is more important in her life: the new love life that she wants to get, or the inheritance. Is it a good decision to make? What kind of condition is that? Is it a good condition? Is it a bad condition? This and many more will be looking into this. And some people will say, like, since she got married to a rich old guy, she should be. Do you think now we're mixing love and the inheritance or properties together? Where are we going to put what's it called? Put a demarcation in it? And also, if she wants to remarry, must she remarry with her property? Must she will the new property to the new man? So let's talk about property you own before marriage. What happens to it? And must it be transferred? Even this chief, must he transferred everything he owned before marrying this young lady to the young lady? So what does the law says about a will? So these are many more we'll be looking at today. So just sit down, stay glued to this channel, and enjoy this conversation, and we'll learn one or two things from it. Broshogo is trying to join us. I don't know if his network is allowing him. And also other co-hosts will be joining us on this topic, on this seat, where we'll be discussing what love, trust, loyalty, and controlling power is on this table. A lot of people said, oh, the man said your boyfriend or a lover. But why we have a lover with the last name of your current husband and still have a lover? So it's not less like you're cheating, we're enabling cheating. Let her remarry. Remarry is signing a dotted line to get married. And must she go with her property? Must the first, the chief, that's Lady Manuel, transfer the property to her when he has his own children? Or why don't you just, since you want to give her a conditional inheritance, why don't you just give her whatever you willing that comes from your heart that you want to give? Hey, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
How you doing? It's been a long time.
It is. It is actually. It is actually. It's nice to
It's
see you. I've been
not
seeing
good.
your. It's actually nice. I've been seeing your beautiful face. Trying to address the audience about our topic today. It's a beautiful one. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. Nice to have you here. And
Nice family and I work here.
happy birthday to Mo. How's she doing? How did you titled?
She's fine. She's fine. She's actually
Did
fine.
you
She's
take
fine.
her? This is she fine. She fine. She will quickly join
No,
this
no, no,
live.
no, no, no. We went out now. We went out. Come on, we went out.
I trust
We
you,
were out
baby.
last night, though.
Yeah,
We
I
were out
trust
last
you.
night. Yeah.
Emo Yahoo told you, so I won't doubt that.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So on this topic, I know you've had though in my caption probably yesterday I mistakenly put one Williams. So this person is late Emmanuel Iwanyawu. Okay, so I want to correct that. So my last caption I put one Chief Williams. So this one is Mr. late Chief Emmanuel. He said in
Okay.
his will that if his wife is a very rich businessman, so he said if he's dead now, so but in his will he said his wife must not remarry if she wants to get this inheritance, or if she wants to remarry, then she doesn't own the inheritance, leaving the wife to choose between inheritance and remarriage. Should a man who is in the grave, who is not a skeleton, be controlling somebody who's alive? So what is your first thoughts when you saw
Okay.
the story?
Okay. Yeah. So actually, to me, when I saw the post, I was actually so happy because, I mean, it's a very good clause. I mean, you might not want to agree with me, but it is a very good clause. Why would someone work so hard? He's dead now, right? He's actually dead, but then he doesn't feel comfortable. I mean, with his wife enjoying the weight with another man. It's way too ridiculous. How would I work so hard, and then it is now for me to die, and then the wife will now take all those benefits to our new, loved, beloved husband. It doesn't make sense. This is actually, if I didn't even put that clause, this will actually encourage some some people. And who knows if actually the woman is the one that even killed the man. The man is actually
Ah,
whole. I'm just saying, see, it's your gender. It's your gender. I am married. I'm saying, yeah, we are all, I mean, some women are good, but I'm just trying to get it in me. Look at it in that perspective. What if? What if even the man
very
actually
true.
knows that
Only get a man wants to put it in his will that if you want to get this keke, don't remarry.
he can put it? He can put it. Why would he even be interested in why would he be interested in my property? Why would he even be interested in my property? I mean, it is right for me to give you stuff, yeah, but I put the clause that if you want to get all these things, you don't have to remarry. You don't have to remarry. You can be seeing another person, but then don't
A
get mad
young
with the
girl at
person.
38 years old should not remarry.
Come on. I mean, we've seen a lot of, okay, what if they go, what if they divorced? What if? and you actually become, and the woman become a single mother at that 30, at that young age.
So she not remarry. So
Come on
now
now, it's something.
anybody
It's
that
actually
is 30 that has been married before divorce should not remarry again.
it's a choice. You know, the guy
Torí
put
pé
it close. He didn't say she shouldn't get married. He didn't say she shouldn't get married. She shouldn't get married. She said that if you want to remarry, you are not going to get the benefits. He put that clause. You can go and marry another man, but you're not going to go with my own property.
But this is
You're
my
not going
property,
with my own
that
money.
you're talking about. At least she was in that marriage for a few years, so she has some benefits she needs to. You can't just
Then
say
she
she
should
should
stay.
go empty-handed.
Then she should, if truly she loves that man, she should be there. At least, respect the dead. That's what the dead wants.
But the
Respect the
dead cannot
dead.
respect the living. Ẹ wo, ẹ ṣe kan tún managing and controlling, ẹ tún ṣe lójú ikú.
No, no, no. See, let me tell you one thing. If you didn't do that, a lot of, like I said, a lot of women will like, oh, it's fine. This guy is boxed up. This guy is
Oh
actually
my
rich. This
God.
guy is wealthy. It will definitely raise an eyebrow. And I don't like the fact that I like the fact that the guy put it that way. The clause actually is the reason why I'm so happy. He didn't
Oh my
say,
God.
the dad didn't say that don't get married again. He said if you are going to get married, you are not going with my property, you are not going with my wealth. Go and work for your own wealth. And
Why didn't
this will actually encourage a lot of young girls out there that you don't just get married to rich folks because of their money. You have to work your own money too. Go and earn a living.
so
See,
when
money, when you earn your money, it's more respectful. Okay, now you are saying it is disrespectful for the dead to be controlling the living. Yes, it is disrespectful because the lady is actually lazy. Imagine the lady has his own money. She won't even bother about whatever it is in the will. She won't be bothered. If you
yeah,
have your own money,
if the man allowed her to work because of that money, because some men, because they are rich, will tell their woman not to work anymore.
that
So
was.
if
I think I don't think that's in the movie. I don't think it exists anymore. That's in the movie. Currently now in Nigeria, no matter how wealthy you are, you still have to work.
have you had Dangote's name anywhere? Probably she's
The
controlling
what?
something. Dangote's wife. Have you had her
Yes,
name anywhere? What's she controlling?
because she chose to be anonymous doesn't mean that she's not working. Do you
Okay.
know that
I just want to
Adeleke?
be so.
I'm just saying. Do you know that Adeleke is I know they were, at least they are wealthy too. We all know them in Nigeria. Their wives are actually working. The widow's wife is actually a chef, a private chef. I don't know if you get it. So see, I don't see it because you don't hear about Dangote's wife doesn't mean that she's not working. That doesn't mean some people chose to be anonymous. They don't want to be in the picture. I know that Todola wife actually works. She owns a very big laundry. I can't remember her name again. Todola's wife.
Okay.
She owns a very big
So
dry
now
cleaning business. What's his name again?
I'm asking, like, is it fair for a husband to control his wife's life after he's gone and telling her what she can do and what she cannot do? Let's leave property alone. Does it make
It
sense to control, say you must not remarry?
it makes sense. It makes sense. Why would you take away my property to someone else's house? It's even better. What if that man you are getting married to kill you again too? Got married to you because of the word that you are bringing into the fight to his own house.
They will sign prenup now that I'm not bringing any words to you before
That's
the
you're,
marriage.
you're, you're talking like this because you are in an advanced world. This is Nigeria for crying out loud. You are in an advanced world. These are the things that work. Prenup, all those things work there. It doesn't work in Nigeria like that. It doesn't work like that in Nigeria. And I'm sure you know this. See, the fact that the guy put that clause makes me happy. And I can tell you for free that see, it's even safer that way. And I think it will open some people's eyes too. Those people that are living now. We have those big people in Nigeria now that are old and got married to young wives. I mean, we have them. I don't want to mention them, but I know we have some people. Yes, now that got married to young wife, just to take care of them. And they can do the same thing, just because this Mr. Francis or whatever wrote his own will. They can do the same, they can follow suit too.
So
If I'm
let's
wealthy
assume
too, I can
that
do the same. You said
she wants to get married to another person. And she's telling the new husband, like, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I know you love me, love me, love me, love me. But I'm not bringing in my property. Would the new man allow, like, oh, my property is for my children. I'm willing it also for my children too. It's possible this chief also could have just willed it to the children. They have children, and give the wife what belongs to her, like you got to feel fed off. Like you have to go away with it, that you don't mind giving it to someone else or do whatever she likes with it. You will share the property, like this one goes to the children, this one goes to my wife. But why will you
You know,
continue like telling a grown
you know,
woman who is alive not to remarry?
you know one thing I learned recently. You don't control how people spend their money, how they wish to go with their money. I learned that recently. You can't tell me that I don't know how to spend my money if I spend it anyhow. If the dead says in his will that the will go to his wife, he has his own reason for saying the wife has all the benefits. And if
So
he
that means
chose to,
we're trying to say that there's some reason like I do it my way, I do it my way. Let's call a spade a spade. What he's saying is wrong. Would he allow somebody to tell his own daughter like don't remarry because of property? What the hell is property?
how is it wrong for crying out loud? Do you know that some people marry for money in this Nigeria that we are in? A lot of people marry for money.
Then you should have. So that means your choice was wrong. Why will you marry somebody that wants to marry you for money? So that means he was not making good choices.
Who made a good choice? Are you talking about dead or the living?
The dead.
Oh, he didn't make a right choice by marrying the
The
woman.
lady, since you know that she came for your money and you're trying to protect your
How would you say that?
the money.
If he doesn't love, how would you say that? If he doesn't love that woman, he will even say that all my property goes to this wife, to my beloved wife, and put that clause. He would even say that. Some people are trying. Okay, let's go to this direction. What if he's trying to protect his name? What if?
Which name?
What if he's trying to protect his name? Getting married to another man means that you're going to change my last name to the person you're getting married to. What if the
Yes,
guy is trying to
because you
protect his
are
last name?
dead. Sure, and Ben,
So
you are
because
dead. Did I kill you? You are dead. You are gone. You are gone, and then your name,
no,
whatever you work for, is going with you. You can't be in the grave and be looking back. You're gone.
come on. Some people's legacy are actually, important to them. Those of people
Then you should have immortalized himself. Do whatever you want to do. Give whoever you want
with the
to give
money.
while you are alive. Don't
If you
control
do
the person
that,
because you make
if
more
you do
money.
that, if you do that, we'll come online and say, oh, this guy do this with his own money, ask them to do this, and then he suffer the children and the wife after this and that. We'll still come out and do it. I mean, I just feel that what he did actually to me is the best. And it will encourage young girls that you need to work for your own money. It's sweet to have your own money.
Can we toss the
It's sweet.
coin? Let's toss the coin a bit. Let's assume
Okay.
a lady, a woman,
Okay.
and is willing. He married, all these young guys. It's possible
Okay.
each woman marry a young guy. Let's say that.
Mm.
So when I die, you must not go with my property. Would that make sense too? You must not remarry.
It will make sense now. I'm not gender biased there. It will make sense. I think it is the lady that is rich and is older and she's no longer alive. I mean, she can do the same too. Why would a man actually go and marry again and take all my money to someone else? I mean, to be flexing a young girl. It doesn't make any sense now. Work for your own money and flex with it. Do whatever you want to do with your money. I think that's the best
Then
thing.
there's no unity in that relationship. There's no
There
like
is
they are not making it
unity.
like as
There
a
is
business thing.
unity. There is unity. There is unity. See, there is unity. Okay, now like I've given you two scenarios now. I said, what if it's the lady that died, that buy the man? That's number one. Number two, what if that the guy really wants to like protect his own last name? What if? So many ifs. So many ifs. But the thing is that I'm very sure that what he did actually will encourage young girls out there to work for their own money. You don't just wait for someone else to just will give to you what he had worked for years. And only for you to now, go around and go and remarry to one younger guy and then spend my money and create wealth with that man. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I know that, see, people used to say that grace and all of that. It might be grace for the young guy that is getting married to. But what happens to laziness? It will encourage young girls to, it is fine. Let me get married to. They are even doing it in Lagos. I'm in Lagos. They are doing it in Lagos. A lot of people are getting married to. Okay, when I went to register to go and get married in Ikoyi, I remember that year that I saw white men old enough to be a grandfather that young girls are getting married to. We were both in Ikoyi trying to do our legal joining. And I
how
like,
do you know they are not in love?
come on, that's the thing. That's what I'm to tell you. That's the thing. Those girls, to me, I feel that they are lazy. They don't want to work. They've seen a rich white guy that they want to get married to. They now brought those guys to Nigeria and then get married to them legally. So this thing we are discussing, we actually encourage young girls like that to do that. And I appreciate the fact that the guy put that clause there. So imagine that is like you putting you in bondage, which is fine. Which is fine. Which is
Thank God
fine.
you know it's a bondage. Anyways,
It is fine. It is
thank
fine.
you. Thank
It
God.
is fine.
Like the last line, bondage, I like it. But anyways, thank you for your
Yes,
submission.
that is it. That is you living in bondage, living in bondage, because the dead is actually not here to defend himself, but he put that clause to put you in bondage. So it is not for you to now choose if you are going to live with it or you're going to walk away.
Anyways, thank you. Bro, today you're welcome.
Carol Lutz.
Sorry. I don't want to we're gonna do with each other on this life. Who left? Who left? Why will you? How could you? He said it could be empty. So I want to correct the person that said that was willing his property to his wife on a conditional basis was late Chief Emmanuel in 1 year. And when you wish you should work, so it wasn't the Williams I said initially, so I take that back. So when you saw that story, what came to your mind? Or probably if you know somebody in that situation, like
No,
he was in that condition, what
no.
will you tell the person?
So here's the thing. I don't know anybody in that situation. Can you hear me? I'm hearing myself.
Yes.
Ekabo, sir.
Yes, Babami, God bless you. Murupe Saloni.
No. It's my network. It was my network, actually.
All right. So I again, first of all, thank you. I don't know anybody in that situation. But when I heard it, I knew that this was going to cause a bit of online debate. However, I mean, because of the kind of person that I am, I believe that we cannot take such things at the face value because there are so many things that could have led to that. While we are not seeing that in the public space, it's understandable when people now start feeling, oh, why would he do that and all of that. But me, I don't see any big deal to it, and I will tell you why. If we go through the fact of the case, right? The clause was if you remarry, you will lose the inheritance. I think so. I think that was what it says. So the clause did not say you don't have anything to do with any other man. Because I see that is how people are making it to be like, oh, he doesn't want the woman to have anything to do with other man. No, it basically says that if you remarry, you're going to lose inheritance. Now that sounds harsh, but again, me being who I am, what I want to figure out is, the lady that was married to this man, yes, she was married to the man. Do they have children? I think they have a kid, right? So it's not a grave thing that says, oh, the man is preventing the woman from having a future. Of course, you have a kid together. And from the perspective of the man, my responsibility to you as my wife is to provide what you need and what my kids will need, right? But at the end of the day, you know that the question that we need to ask is this: at what time did this man marry this lady? Did they build his wealth together? I don't think so. He married.
They can't even build the way together. The lady
No,
is
no, no,
younger.
no, no, no. I don't want to get into that conversation of whether they can build the world together or they cannot. Right. The only aspect that I want to figure out is, when did this man marry this lady? Because the man is old. He's an old man, right? Well, not that old, but the age gap between them could suggest that this man was probably a made man, a billionaire before this lady married him, right? We can argue the emotional side of it from now till tomorrow, right? But it's not a case of them building the world together. To me, it's a case of the lady came, found wealth, and sat there, right? I'm sorry for using that word. I'm sorry for using that word. Now, because there's going to be a lot of questions from you, but let me end it here. You cannot blame someone on the decision they choose on their money.
Obviously, sir.
It's not in my place to say that man did something wrong, because number one, I don't know the events that led to that. Like, okay, let me share this again. My brother said something about maybe the lady wanted to kill the man. I'm not saying that. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that. But let me give us a bit of history. In old Oyo Empire, when a king dies, it's always the king's crown prince that takes up the stool of the king, right? So they've been doing that. But then the Oyomesi figured something out. They discovered that they've had cases of kings dying mysteriously, and then the crown prince will become the prince and all of that, right? They now discovered that by virtue of the post that the king holds, there are people close to the king that, based on their proximity, they can harm the king for their benefit, right? So what did Oyomesi do? Oyomesi now gave a law, which is kind of like a check and balance. It is harsh, but that was what they did. What they did was, immediately when the king is on the throne, the Aremoba pretty much enjoy the benefit of being a king while alive, right? So whatever the king can do, the Aremoba can do. But if the king dies, the Aremo will die with the king. There's another person that is close to the king. They call him Iyaoba, not really the biological mother of the king, right? But they have an appointed Iyaoba who is equally close to the king. That person too, when the king dies, she would die with the king. Another person who is the king's horseman, they have a rule in the sense that when the king die, the king horseman will die. So they call them Eleshioba. Of course, I don't know if you watched the movie Ageshioba. That was part of the history that led to that movie, right? I think it was written by Wole Soyinka. So you see that we have 3 people that will die with the king now, right? Then one of the Oyomesis will die with the king. What does that do? Because they believe that these are the people that will benefit from the king's death, right? So because they now saw that, oh, the kings that we've been having, they've not been living long, right? So they now created a clause around that if the king dies, oh, you know that you will die. Will those people be ready to harm the king? No, they would ensure that the king live long, because if the king doesn't live long, they will die as well. Now, I digress. But the point that I'm making is that was what was done to prevent something. And I don't know what, and I'm not saying, and the people of the internet listening, that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying anybody killed anybody. But I'm just saying that this man did not write the will at the point of his death. He's written the real will long ago. I don't know if the lady knew about it or it's just a root shock. But what we don't know is what this man knew about the movement of this lady. This lady is younger than the guy. We don't know whether the lady has been doing away while the man is alive. Again, everything that I'm saying may sound absolute. Again, I'm still saying it again. I'm not saying that is what happened though.
Okay, on this table, we are not talking about them now. We are talking about likeliness, like situational things. So we are talking about the issue, not about these people now. So whatever we are saying is like similar cases, not them.
Okay, so it is important. So, like about people. So let me put it that way. It is not a traditional thing that occur. I don't, and that's why I'm going back to this man case, right? I don't think any man would think that, oh, I don't want my wife to marry so that she loses inheritance. If you care about that, you wrote a will. If you don't want the inheritance to go away, you could have divided the inheritance to other people that you feel like they're attached to you more than the lady, and give them the money, rather than create a boss that says if you marry someone else, you're losing inheritance. If your inheritance is 5 billion and you care so much about the 5 billion, why not just give her the amount that you feel like, even if she remarries, is good. It doesn't affect you. If you want to cater for your family, if you want to cater for your son, you could do that. And that, I believe, that is what will is for, right? And he did that. He wrote the will. The other thing is, he could have written a prenup before they got married, because again, he married after he was rich. Prenup is a way to protect yourself if you know that something is going to happen. Again, love is good, but if you are that rich, marriage is pretty much transactional at that level. I'm sorry to say this. It is poor people like us that marry for love. Rich people, they have a mindset. They know. They don't just marry anyhow. They marry people that they believe they can enhance their wealth, or they know that these people, if they know that these people will do something, they write it, they create a prenup. So
Okay.
to answer your question, I don't think it is a commonplace thing what the man did, but I won't claim to understand the mindset that led the man to write what he wrote. That's what I'll say.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Adam. Anyways, and
If
Gary. I say, oh, okay. So, what's your first thought on it when you had the story of giving a conditional will? So, yeah, I know you're here. So, how's it going?
Very fine. You know, everywhere is blank, so you might actually not notice I'm here.
No, I can see. I know that I have two boxes too. I can't see both, but I know I have two boxes and I know the names of people here.
Okay, that's great. Good evening. How are you? Good evening from
I'm
this
good.
side of the year.
Good
So,
evening.
well, what I what I what I felt when I heard about it is like, oh, well, it is not more than hope, because I tried to try and mentally analyze it, then I came up with something. There might be a lot of reasons why a man of that caliber would do something like that. Like some people already say, um, um,
You may should go.
other Shogo, yes, said that it might be that the girl saw wealth and came and the man noticed and blah 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 and all that. The thing about it is that the man, I'm not sure the wealth that he has started from him. I'm not sure. I think he inherited the wealth and he built on it, I think. And if he married another young lady, he knows very well that she's a young lady. And he knows that if he dies any moment, she can actually remarry because she is still young. The truth is that with that kind of property in our name, because of course, when he dies, automatically the will belongs to her. Well, according to his will, the properties belong to her. And once the property belongs to her, it is in her name. And when she gets married, women don't retain their original name according to the constitution of Nigeria, blah, blah. Even if you do retain your name, you will still carry your husband's name somehow. And whoever she gets married to has a legal right over the property. Why? She will become the person's name, which means the property already changed names. From Mr. A, now the property is now Mr. B's, because yes, it is the lady's property, but she has changed the name. So the property, Yoruba will say that ẹni tó bá lẹ́rú, òun ló lẹ́rù. Apparently, a lot of that wealth will somehow go to the hand of the guy. And if this man dies, he does not know who this lady is going to get married to. Probably an opportunist that just want to use her to get the man's wealth. All right. And he has children that the property can be passed down to. In his clause, he never said don't remarry. He said if peradventure you want to remarry, leave the things that are mine. So the decision to remarry is in our care.
Bam.
Right? Now, she did not build this wealth with this man. All right? She did not. And if she was anything, I'm sorry to use it, if she was anything wise, you get married to a billionaire. It is actually an opportunity for you to be a millionaire, at least. At least. Because one, you have the influence of a billionaire who is not just a billionaire, but is also influential. So if you start up a business, it will thrive. Do you understand? So even if
I understand in
he dies, you will not be stranded as a woman. What if the man did not even give her any property? It is his property. He can actually write it in the will that the property should not be passed down to her. And if he does not love her, he wouldn't have willed his property to her. The man is an Igbo man. Igbos can easily will their properties to members of their family. He didn't do that. It shows the level of love and respect the man has for her. Willed his property to her.
Exactly.
I'm not saying he did not say if you don't have boyfriends. He never mentioned don't have lovers. He only said don't marry somebody else with my property. So if that is the clause, it is our decision. I'm sorry to say, but people, you're about to say that Agbato Balo Minu Kokiman Pariwo. If she has something going on for her, she will not come to social media and put out this. I'm sorry to say that, but I doubt if she will put out this, if she actually really has something going on for her. She can easily say, bullshit, take your property and remarry. All right? But if the clause is holding her to the marriage, whereby she still wants to be married to somebody else, then we really need to ask her questions. You asked whether it is fair. It is not fair, but then this life in itself is not fair. All right? I think I read sometimes ago, some couple of years in Japan.
Let me interrupt you. I've come to
realize
with this condition that you as a woman, you are agreeing, you are pleasing this man, this and that. But anyways, I leave you today for another talk. You are pleasing this man, you are supporting men.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
This is not supporting men. No. What if that man was my son?
What if that girl is also your daughter?
If that girl is my daughter, from the moment she married the man, I would have told her to build her own wealth.
So to build her own wealth, that means now. So she was in that relationship to get money, to source for money, to serve the man.
Then why, if she's not in that relationship to source for money, why is she crying foul now?
Because this is our own property, like it has been willed. It's a gift.
It's not our property. It is our property by proxy. By marriage.
Because I'm privileged to marry to you. You love me, I love you. I'm privileged to marry to you. I did not beg for your money.
Love is not blind, sis.
Olotu,
What you
Love
saw
is
as an
love blind.
entitlement in this relationship,
Olotu, can I
and now you're giving a condition to it.
Olotu, can I say something?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
We all agree, at least myself, brother Shogo, and Chitayo, that this man had built his wealth before he married this woman. Do we all agree to that? Good. And we also agree that the man wrote a will, which is a good thing, right? And then we all agree that the man willed his property to this woman, but with a clause, which we're going to get to. Then we all agree that this man is not obliged to will his property to this woman. Do we agree to that as well? At least in the context of Nigeria. To bash America.
Yes, yes. So, but
Now,
nobody put a gun.
why are
No.
we making this man black with a clause while ignoring the fact that he willed them? It's like a case of it is yours as long as you do what I want. It's as simple as that.
So why will you be controlling?
Not even as long as you do what I want. It is as long as you bear this name.
No.
That is the only clause. The clause is as long as you remain a legal bearer of this name. The clause never said don't get a lover. The clause never said don't have other
So
children.
it's like
The
the clause is
clause
saying
is
you can cheat on me. Because why will I have a lover and not marry the lover? That's I'm
it is
cheating.
your decision. It's your decision. Okay, now I was reading something I read something some couple of years about a royal family in Japan. I think it happened 2021 or 2022. I can't really remember. That one of the daughters of the royal family wanted to marry a commoner. And the rule of the royal family is that no female from that family can marry a commoner. The moment you marry a commoner, you forfeit your royalty. They will pay you off for marrying a commoner, but you have nothing connecting you any longer to the royal household. Okay? And this particular lady decides to marry a commoner, and the money that was given to her to pay her off, she rejected it, which is her decision. The family never turned back. We will say it is not fair, but a policy is a policy. It is not meant to be fair. It is meant to retain continuity. Now, for example, if this lady should marry another man, now listen up. I'm sorry, now listen up. If this lady in question decides to marry another person, she will automatically take another man's sweat to another man's family. This is what the man is trying to protect. You will not tell me he doesn't have children.
You have given me. If you know that
I'm what?
Children, he could nobody put a gun on him to put that will in her name. If
it shows that, listen, what you are not seeing is that,
why did he give me?
to a large extent,
Why would he give me?
it shows that you are not.
What kind of condition is that?
Okay, let me explain something to you. For the man to have willed his property to the woman, then he must have watched her closely to realize that she is kind, okay, and that she can manage things properly. Because if you can't manage things properly, a rich man like that will not will his property to you when he knows that you will squander it. He knows that she might be kind because he has children. He would have willed all the property to the children and not leave anything to the woman, but he will properties to the woman. And the thing is, for him to have entrusted all those property to her care, to a large extent, aside from the fact that he loves and respects her, he trusts her. All right. But the thing is, the property might not all the properties might actually, part of the properties might be something that he inherited, and it will be very disastrous if he should allow, if the lady should marry someone else with those property and the property becomes somebody else's name, then the inheritance of that family has gone to another family.
I think
Which
you're
is
the only
terrible.
one that don't
So
understand this.
all is, you are now telling me that because of love, let me land. You are now telling me that because of love, right, which is a great thing, he should forfeit what he inherited and all his life hard and work to another man. Come on
So
now.
let me assume this man had a first wife before, probably the first wife died or had
It does.
children.
It does. He had
Okay.
a wife that died 2 years before.
So let's assume that this is the second wife, probably a young girl, that you want to continue life with. And marrying that lady of that age, it's also your choice. You can as well be without a man if you want to keep your wealth. So marrying somebody of that age is like you want to enjoy life with her. And now she has left whatever she's doing, or probably continue her life with you too. Nobody could have gone that you must will everything to her. Give her what you think she can handle or what you are ready to dash her. Like, okay, she's my wife, the lady I loved. Okay, this is what I know. You've been good to me while I was alive, blah, blah, blah. You spend life with me. It's my own gift of the number of years, depending on how you want to give her. If it's a house, a car that she is entitled to, give her and don't look back. That is my own point. And will the rest to your family members, wherever you want your work to continue.
So, Olotu.
So, since you have older children or you have the age of those children, you can will it to your children. And if you think it must be in your family, you can will some for your brothers, some for your sisters, and some for your wife. But you don't give your wife and give her a condition. Very soon, if you make this continue, somebody with keke maruwa or with a pen will say, if you want this pen, you must not remarry. So we should not continue this.
So
give her what you think she can handle and let her go with her life. That's your own gift. That's our own pension or gratuity, whatever you want to call it.
Can I say something, Olotu?
Yes, sir.
I think there's a place where I agree with you. And that place is in the fact that instead of creating all this buzz, he could have just given her a portion of the property that he believes can be let go. I agree with you on that. But the reason why he gave all these other, so actually let me state that the inheritance in question, because he gave so many other properties, right, to the woman's son. I think a house in Abuja to the woman's son. There's a house in the UK that he said they should sell and then share amongst the sons and all of that. The property in question is actually the business that he owns. There's a furniture business which was actually previously managed by the first wife, and then some real estate business as well. That aspect is the part that I feel like, well, if you're going to give a whole lot of things, don't give I mean, it kind of like, I don't get it. That's the point. But there are some commentators that are saying that, oh, maybe because it's trying to protect the woman, because like the commentators say that young widows are actually target of gold diggers and all of that. And the way Antitayo mentioned it, it's all this property that you're looking at is as gone as sorry, I'm marrying another gold digger, change the name, transfer the property to the gold digger, and then the gold digger jilts her. It's possible. It's just going to be a Nollywood movie, right? Without this clause. Now, the part that I agree with or that I disagree with you on is this man is the owner of his will. This man decided to do it the way he did it. I don't know why, and I won't claim to know why. It could be that prevention of gold digging and all of that. Another fact that Antitayo brought up is the lady is at liberty to do whatever she wants. And if money is not money that she did not make with this man now, if money is not our target, then she could marry for love and leave this money. It's as simple as that. But why
Who
will
will she leave it for? Who will she leave the property for?
I'm sure the man, the only part that we are focusing on is the one that is creating a boss. The man cannot say you forbid the inheritance if you remarry without providing.
If she decides to marry, the properties goes to her children automatically.
No,
Because they
children,
bear the name.
to his children.
All right. It goes automatic from where my husband comes from. All right. If a man dies, the properties goes directly to the wife, not the children. Where my husband is from, according to the way he explained it to me, his properties go to his wife, not his children. And the person in charge of that property that will help the wife take care of that property is the first son. So the first son has a say to the property. So if the woman, if the wife wants to sell a property and the first son says no, it is no. But she automatically owns the property. And in a case when she wants to go and remarry, she's not going to be remarried with those properties. She's going to relinquish all those properties to her first son. All right. So the reason why she's in charge of those property is so that she can manage it.
Oh, sorry.
On behalf of the children. And when the children are of age and they want to take over their property, it is directly handed over to the first son, who then shares it among the siblings. So even if the first son is the last born, he is the owner of the entire property. So if she's going to relinquish the property, it is going to be relinquished to his children. It's not as if she's going to hand it over to family members. It's going to be to the children of the man. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Also, the will is basically a translation of the culture that exists.
Thank you. It's a translation of their culture.
So why are we now angry?
I don't know why Olotu is angry. I don't know why Olotu is angry. That is why I'm saying that if she's not getting married for the money, she can decide to walk away.
Exactly.
The thing is that she will not even suffer for it. You know why? The children will be beneficiaries of the property, and they will not watch their mother suffer. Only that she cannot decide on anything concerning the property again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not as if the man hates her. The man does not want his property running a wire everywhere. He wants his things to remain in his family. And probably he feels that she can handle these businesses better. So he handed over the business to her to handle. So if you feel that you want to go and remarry, which is okay, then you relinquish your position and go and remarry. It's not even stopping her. You say? You say? Thank you. Something like that. So it's not as if he's being wicked or something. He's just trying to retain what is his in his home. That is why in this modern world that we are in now, I will not advise any woman to be completely dependent on the man.
Oh wrong.
In this modern world, it's wrong. And if you decide to be a stay-home mom because of your children for now, let it be under agreement. It is that pending when the children will be so age, because some people, because of society, they choose to remain some women, because of the society, because they want to raise good kids, they agree with their husband. I know of someone, they agree with their husband that for some times you will not work. You, the woman, you will not work. Let me go and hustle the money while you stay home to ensure that the children are well raised. But it will be for a period of time, not forever. It might be like between now and 10 years when we will have all our children. We should be able to have all our children between these years, and they should be able to be so age within these years by God's grace, if our predictions are right. So after this year, you can go work. But even at that, if you can get something doing from home, personally, I will advise it. No woman in this modern world should actually completely depend on a man, sincerely, because the way the world is going, you have to get something.
Because we can't depend on them, right? They are not dependable. Is that why?
It's not because they are not dependable. the times are changing.
Bro,
There are a lot of
marking.
dependable men out there.
Eh,
Times are changing.
I won't say
It's
anything.
not because they are not dependable, it's because sometimes you want a thing of your own, and they are always unforeseen circumstances. There are unforeseen circumstances. In a case where something happened along the line, you will just be stranded. And it will not be fair on your part.
Ada will say your wives. They are not dependable. I'm just kidding.
I never said they are not dependable. Some men are not dependable, you are right. Some women too are not dependable, which is also right. But I'm not saying it's not because they are not dependable, it's because of future occurrences.
Anyways, but anyways, me, I stand strong. I stand alone. I stand strong. Anyways, let's talk about love and property. So it comes on that when a man is rich, to get a woman who they will think love them genuinely is rare. They will think, oh, she's coming for my money. She's coming for my money. And it has always been like that. Is that not a way that we can get? I wanted to say something like a real love, but I remember while I kept quiet I remember a comment like, we've not seen a young girl marrying a poor old person. It's only a young girl marrying an old rich person. So that means they comment for money, they're attracted with the money. But is there no way that we can say that, so we can agree that younger person can marry an older person genuinely without thinking of this property thing? And also to flip it on the other way around, is there no way that a woman can marry another one without giving the property to the man? Like, okay, this property is mine, before. That's the prenup thing, that it's mine and we are not mixing it with our relationship. And do you think the relationship would thrive? Would a new man agree to that and still love the lady? So it's a two-way thing. Can a young lady marry an old person without interest in the property? And also, can a young or probably the same age marry someone who has money and still not be interested in the property too? Where can we separate the love and property thing?
So, as a man, as a representative of the men, I want to say categorically that, well, no, I'm kidding. But the thing is, I love what you started with by saying that you've never seen a young lady marry a poor old man. But I don't want to get sucked into the debate of young lady marrying old men, right? But in a way, I would say that the question we need to ask is this: what is the motivation for a young lady marrying old men?
Love.
Hmm?
I like it. He's kind, is loving, it gives me the attention I want.
Okay, let me
Love.
let me this lady that we're talking about, at the time that they married each other, I believe 2013, the lady was 26. The man was 76. That is 50-year age gap. Are you saying that is love? Will they have even crossed paths if this billionaire is the word that I want to use? I'm sorry, but it's a reality. If the man is a civil servant waiting for salary at the end of the month, do you think you will advise the 26-year-old girl to go and marry him? That's the first question we need to first of all ask ourselves. The point that I'm making is, when a young lady as young as that, when you see them marrying old men like that, love is not the first consideration. I'm sorry, I can count names. I mean, the public space. I hope I don't get sued. But we have someone with the last name.
Don't mention names, please.
Someone with the last name of a prophet that was with lions, that married someone old, quote and unquote. That is love, right? We have a wealthy man in Lagos that married a young lady. And of course, the lady is helping the empire of this man. That is love as well, right? But I'm not saying it is not love. But the commonality in all of this is that all these men are wealthy. Now, as a computer scientist that would think about logic rather than emotion, the logic shows me that the only thing that is constant is the wealth of this man. That rule out love as the first reason for getting married to them. You understand what I'm saying for that? So now that goes back to what I said initially when I started this conversation. Poor people like me, love is a consideration for us when we're choosing wives as a man. Oh, I need someone that loves me, that wants to build life with me. See, that is easy because that's the only thing that I can give. The Bible says, gold and silver I have none, right? But this love, I will love you till the end of the world. Now we can now love each other together and build that empire, right? But a rich man, love is not the first thing in the mind of a rich man. They probably need someone to boost their social status. Like, oh, I have a young girl that I'm moving with, right? So love is not even in their calendar. And that is why from Nigeria to Timbuktu to the US, rich men don't treat marriage the way poor people treat marriage. Rich people will first of all find a way of protecting their assets. So that is why they see marriage as transactional, right? So that is where the concept of prenup come in. And they say, okay, you know what? I love you, but before we proceed, sign this. That's how you test a woman. If you are truly in love with me, why is it hard for you to sign the prenup? If love is your consideration, right? The only thing that would make you not sign the prenup that protects me and give you edge is because you don't love me. Let me give an example. And the thing about women, you see, we need to understand the power of women. Men can be dumb, right? But the thing about women is women can be patient to get what they want. The case of a notable singer that married an Arab prince. They actually had a prenup. The prenup was, if you marry me and we stay married for a period, I think a period of 5 years, you're going to get a certain amount of money. Then if you give me a son, you're going to get an additional certain amount of money. Do you know what happened? They had a marriage of exactly 5 years, and within that 5 years, this lady had a son, and immediately that 5-year period reached, the lady filed for divorce and got that money. You see why it is important for
Then it's a business. That's not marriage.
exactly when the reason where we are,
It's a contract.
that's the example. That's exactly what I'm saying. Marriage is contract when you get to that level, when you get to that upper echelon as a rich person, and it becomes and again, for lack of a better word, it becomes a fetish for these rich people. They don't care because they see it as another trail. That's why you see they don't care. You can see a rich man marrying, get divorced, marrying, get divorced. As long as they know the transaction behind it and they know that they can afford it, they'll keep doing it. So when we're talking about love, let's limit it to our level of exposure to wealth. Because when we get to that rich man level, love is not the first consideration. That's what I want to say.
Tayo. So
Okay.
let's talk about the other side. So what do you think about that? Should we, even when your partner has money, can we be in a relationship without putting that?
All right. The thing about it is that when you are rich, let's just be candid with ourselves. When you are rich, whether as a man or as a woman, and anybody is coming close, one of the things that you will need to be careful about is gold digger, because the first thing they will see when they see you is your wealth. So at that level, it's kind of difficult to be sure whether someone actually really loves you or not. Okay? So, and some men, all right, they really can't handle rich women. All they want is to just marry this woman because of her wealth, find a way that she will trust me, then probably rob her or something. All right. And it is even worse for a woman than a man. That is the truth. Because as a man, the woman can still stay. And you know, women are emotional beings. By the time children start getting into the marriage, they begin to think about their children, and they really don't want to go. Even if you are rich and all that, they don't want to go. They want to stay in the marriage because of their children. They want the wealth passed down to their children and all that. But in a case where it is the woman that is rich, the guy does not care, especially if he's a gold digger. Does it mean that women with wealth cannot marry for love, or whether if she gets married, she can still keep her property? That is dependent on the man she is getting married to. All right? Because the moment she decides to stand her ground that this property belongs to me and not to you or to us, it is mine, be rest assured, if the man is a gold digger, the marriage is going to break. It's just a matter of time. But in a case where she is lucky enough, some men can even propose it that your property is your property and should remain yours. Some men can actually do that. But it is getting that kind of man that is now questionable. All right. And this is not me saying women should forfeit their wealth just because they want to get married. No. Your own man will come, someone that can handle your prosperity, that can handle your wealth with you, will definitely come. All right. So the thing is that, and about the old men marrying younger ladies, in the first place, the man is not marrying you for love. No, there is something about you that he likes and that he knows that his money can sustain. So he decides to marry you. Have you seen an old poor man before? Young lady will not even go close to that kind of man, because he will actually really look old. So the truth
They'll
is that
remember that you're old enough to be my dad. But when he was really a rich man,
that is the truth. So the truth is that any young lady that marries an old rich man is because of the money, though not all the time. Because for a kind of RMD looking guy, a young lady might want to marry that kind of man because he's handsome. Wow, this old handsome man. Okay, but the truth is that the clause is money. Thank you. It also comes down to the money, because if he does not have money to maintain all the shenanigans, she will not come close. So it still boils down to the money. So no young person will marry an old man for love. So any young person marrying an old man is transactional. Take it or leave it. It's not for love. It's transactional. All right. So if such things now happen to you, to a large extent, you will not blame the man, because you even married him in the first place for his wealth. All right. So he has the right to keep his money the best way he can. So for old
and
men,
the reason you married him is what is not even taken away from you. Imagine. You see that, like, all on show.
now, and somebody says something and I agree with the person, that young ladies will now start thinking twice before they marry old people now. All right. With this, they'll start learning. If it is just to go and start one business, they'll be bringing something to them, they will do it, so that at the end of the day, and if it is pestering the man that give me this, so that my own future too can stand, they will start doing it, so that when the man dies, they will not enter Kolobo They will not enter into one chance. So the thing is, it's actually what it is. All right. So for the young ladies that wants to marry and they have wealth, they will have to. Me, I'm a Christian, so you will have to pray about it so that you meet someone who will not be intimidated by your wealth. There are a lot of men that are not intimidated by a woman's wealth. I had a man talking sometimes ago, and he said that his wife is richer than him, all right, but he ensures that food, school fees, everything that is meant for the house, he provides it because it is his responsibility. And sometimes even the wife flight tickets, if she wants to do something and she needs to fly out, he ensures he provides for it because he is the husband. And in cases where he is incapable of doing some certain things, the wife comes in and he appreciates it, but he knows what his responsibility are. That kind of man is comfortable with the wife's wealth and is not intimidated by it. It's not all men that can be like that, but there are a handful of men that are comfortable with their wife's wealth. They are comfortable. They are not intimidated because the truth is that a lot of men, what I have noticed that a lot of men believe, especially African men, they believe that to be the head of the house, you must be the richest in the house, which is not supposed to be. As a leader, you might actually not, some of your followers can be wealthier than you, but for them to make you a leader, there is leadership qualities in you that they can follow. That is why they make you a leader. All right. So as a husband, there is more to bring to the table than the money. A woman marrying you is marrying you for leadership. So you should learn how to be a leader of your home, even if your wife is making more than you. There is a lot, attached to this. It's not, in fact, in this modern day, it's not just about your money, because there are a lot of women making money now, even making money that some men now. All right. So if you need to up your game beyond being the provider of the home for you to still see yourself as relevant. Because if you think that the only thing that makes you the head of a home is your money, if your wife is richer than you, you will feel irrelevant. You will feel irrelevant. You will feel pressured. You will hate your wife along the line. All right. But if you know that this woman is rich, but I am the leader of this home, and you lead right, you will feel more fulfilled. You will not be intimidated by her wealth. All right. So that is what I think I can just add to this.
Thank you, Mama. As well. Bros. Bro, today is taking a lot of show for. What I can't show for now. We marry you for money. And you die now, the money will marry you. You want us to put a condition.
It's still, I mean, it's 50.
We can't live with that.
At the end of the day, it's 50-50 now.
So do you think this condition also can impact the wife's future? Like, since you want him to, since is it that she will get married to this person, stay in the marriage, rather, stay in the marriage and get the wealth. That means you have lost your love life. Even if you desire to remarry, you won't be able to do that. If you have the urge for this to be, you won't be able to do it. Or you go and marry and you don't have the same lifestyle that you have, you've built with that man. You fly first class. Now that they have asked you to drop everything to go and marry for love. And this person you find that is a school class teacher. Sorry for teachers, it might be teacher, man, lady, more. And you find a teacher that loves you.
Remember, I'm a teacher, so be careful.
I might be So how do you think the condition will impact the wife's future happiness and well-being in the future?
Okay.
I think. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Auntie.
Okay. Happiness is not dependent on the wealth you have. You can have all the money in this world and still not be happy. All right. Happiness is not dependent on the plenty money you have. You might have all the money.
Well-being is also there. Happiness and well-being.
Okay. The thing is that she is still the owner of those companies for now. If she actually really wants to remarry, Yoruba will say something: wisdom cannot finish on earth, and you want to go to heaven to go and buy it. So, and the Bible says that wisdom is profitable to direct. All right. So if she wants to remarry and she wants to live in her affluence, maybe the company is hers. She can just plan herself. Within this year and this year, I will start up my own business. It might even be a furniture company. All right. It might even be a furniture company or a real estate company, and somehow she will pioneer it and she will grow it in the space of time. And she can go and get married if that is what she wants to do. It might not be as big as the one she is going to live, but at least it will be able to give her some leverage to a large extent. All right. Since she's the organ of the company, so she has the right to do whatever she can, pending when she's still a widow to a dead man. All right. So it does not affect her in any way if she can sit down to think what to do through. All right. So, except she just feel that that is where her life starts and ends. And the thing about
Sadiq. Anyway, Rachel, what do you think?
So yeah, thank you very much. So two sides of this, right? Of course, we and Style had already established that uh, happiness does not come from money, right? But the world being part of it. Two things, the two decisions before her. Number one, if she wants to remarry, right? And I'll say that nothing should, take note of that keyword, nothing should change for her. If she decides immediately they finish reading that will, if she says, you know what, I don't want that inheritance, I want to get married, nothing should affect her. Her well-being. This is why. Number one, she's still got some inheritance that are not tied to this clause. That's what I want, first thing that I want to say. Number two, she has been married to a billionaire for 12 years. And I think Antayo said it earlier, 12 solid years. You cannot now tell me that you don't have something that will give you soft landing after 12 years of being married to a billionaire. Whether it's in jewelries, whether it's in savings for ourselves. It's not
no,
going
it can be sold.
wrong. That is,
And also,
It can be
so
sold.
that means you mean in the 12 years you expect her to be siphoning money for herself.
no,
You wanted
no. Let me correct
to
you.
be
Let me correct you.
stealing husband's money.
Not
Hold on.
siphoning, not stealing. You
That is
married a billionaire for 12 years. You don't have a bond of your own. You don't have an investment of your own. Come on now.
if you don't, then that shows that you're going in that, you went into that marriage rather, to be a leech off of a rich man. That is what it means. Even again, right? I don't expect that I'm married to my wife for 12 years and my wife will still have to depend on me for something. No. If I cannot influence someone that I'm married to, whether in the way I move, and she's able to replicate that, of course, now even if you are a full housewife, one thing that I know about my Igbo people is they splurge on their wives. That's how you know a Igbo man is rich. You see it on their, if you see, even in the pictures of these people that you see outside, you see how the man dress, see how the woman dress. That's how you know. Because the wealth of Igbo man is seen on their wives. So you now mean to tell me that you have been married to this billionaire with a B-O, a capital B. And
Hey, you might be using the money to buy clothes, things that they are liability, not assets. So she might have a lot of liabilities to herself. She have a lot of good clothes, Italian shoe, Italian bag.
We are saying yes. And that's why I started with it should not affect her. Should. I said should. That's on the other that's on the side of me. She doesn't want to keep the inheritance, she wants to marry. It doesn't affect that one. On the side of her, keeping the inheritance and not getting married. Again, my pastor is not hearing this, but the clause did not say you cannot have boyfriends. If companionship is what she's looking for, the clause, the will did not say that. The will did not say you cannot.
She's a Christian. She cannot have a boyfriend. She's a Christian.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So we our well-being or our happiness is not solely dependent on the man's inheritance. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Whatever makes her happy, she can do it. If true love is what she's looking for, she can forgo the inheritance and she'll still be okay. Now, if she doesn't want true love, then
in fact, she will forgo the inheritance and she will still not be poor for the rest of her life.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And in fact, you still have a son that is tied to the man that you still control. Maybe the boy is maybe like less than 10 years old. You're still the one that is the custodian of this boy. So what on boss or boy, you will not lose your knee. So what are we now saying?
So now let's now look at it. With this condition, does that tell us the value the man places on the wife? Because if you value her, you won't put her on any condition. You will want her to, own you and own everything. Like you know that you
comes with condition. There is nowhere in the world value does not come with condition. Values come with conditions.
Sherry, tí mi ò bá yanu mi máa ṣàdúrà fún yín. Ẹ gbà pé ẹ̀mí mi ń ṣàdúrà fún yín. You know, I wanted to respond. But tó bá jẹ́ pé mi ò respond pẹ̀lú yẹn, ó máa di wàhálà. So mo láì bó jẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin lẹ kọ́kọ́ bá mi dá wọn lóhùn pẹ̀lú response yẹn. Mi ò sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. I rest my case.
So if the man really value her and she knows her worth, then she will like, is this my worth before you? Is this how you can weigh me? So condition.
The worth the man puts on her is to have entrusted his companies into her name. What other words are you looking for? Why are we going back and forth?
If there is a Magician that will make me tell you,
I am supporting her. I am supporting her 100%. She's so worthy. She is so worthy that the company was placed in her care. She is so valued that she was given those things and I'm not family member. Do you know that the man would have easily given the property to any member of his family, also put in the will that she should be a director or something of the companies? It's possible.
On the condition, she will him the property on the condition. Condition pé kò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe naka mọ́.
Okay, how do you get what? Olotu, Adiola, I'm sorry. Who? God. Did God not put condition on you as a human being? What is your condition to go to heaven? What is your condition to go to heaven? That is our God, our own creator of the universe. He's here to put condition on us that, okay, Adam ti fuck up, kò lè jẹ́ kẹ́rí àyèwọ̀ heaven more, but this is Jesus. So until you accept Jesus as your Lord and personal Savior, you cannot go to heaven. Is that not what the Christian faith is preaching? So there is condition for everything that is valuable in life. It doesn't make her worthless.
And form men's club.
No, I'm a woman, and I'm trying to be one. I'm just trying to. I want women to see things logically.
So, Olotu, let me flip.
Yes.
Let me. Hold on. Let me flip the script. This man has a wife that died, and they had children. Will you maintain the same energy if this young wife marries someone else, transfer all the wealth to this new husband, and the children that the man had could not access the inheritance?
Olosu, you are not talking
And
again.
This
I
silence,
cannot process that.
this
What
your
I can
silence is
process
just,
is the one I'm talking about.
it's the same thing. Honestly, it is the same thing.
But
We cannot throw away facts over emotions. And I understand the emotional side of things is valid as well. But fact is the fact. This man
And a
actually,
lot of us women, we run on emotions big time. We run on emotion. That is why a lot of women are shouting up and down. Because we actually we are being fueled by emotions. If you take your time, put emotions aside and decide to be a bit logical, there are some things that you will see clearly,
logic
sincerely.
poison to women.
We can be very logical sometimes.
When it matters, they will throw away logic. Like in the case of this man now, the women do not want to hear the logic of it. That, oh, maybe this man is protecting this woman. We don't know. We don't care.
And that is even another side. It might be that he's trying to protect her from wolves.
Someone that is 37
But
years.
the thing is that if she even gets married now and transfer her name to another man's name, if the man decides to use Ogbon Arekereke and take over the companies, our child will lost out.
Of course.
So she will even be losing on two sides. Even our own children will lost, because she will be forfeiting their father's property to another man who does not even care about them. So if the children now grow up, what will they inherit from her? What will they? Okay, they will not say that our father's property was inherited by another man. No, now the man that might even be protecting is our children, our own future with this thing he did.
anyways, it's a conversation and it's a controversy for a reason. So we need some set of people to be on one side, and we need the other set of people to be on the other side. So whenever I'm on this table, I'm playing the role of a devil advocate, speaking on some other angles of it, and we're able to have a good conversation. So this thing I noticed that since all of you want to be like, you defeated Team Women, you defeated us, but anyways, we'll let it go. Thank you. And so just to see, I know that if my Adashegun was here, Adashegun would support me on this table. Men.
You know that.
What is it?
I said you yourself, you know that is not possible. Support you.
Adashegun will support me. Saying but the two of you, especially Tayo, support it's gonna be team me and you against Brotunde. You not supported Brotunde. But anyway, life continues. So I mean, that is all that we have for today. Unless we have another last one. You're saying something?
She's saying something, but I think she's on.
So I said I support her 100%. I'm also supporting our children's future.
Supporting our children's future. Anyways, the map should have just shared it like equally. The children, this is your own. So the one you give the woman she can fly with it. You can't put on. Don't put her on a hold because you want to protect her. That's not good. You control her on earth, even in your grave, you are still controlling her. Face front. That is of vanity upon vanity. Everything. Even if you control this woman now, will you be able to control who she is also going to live it with? So you can't control that anymore. So she should face front. You have died here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my Jessica. Anyways, that's all that we have for today. It was very interesting though. Very interesting conversation. I think the man was trying to protect the inheritance. Like, I understand that the fact that another man can even take it from her, the Madupa being a woman, and the man, okay. Anyways, it is all good. He did well. He didn't do well. I'm ready to win. I just feel that the woman who was controlled should have just given her what she can fly with. That's my own understanding. And that since this way he has to be. So people with Ketemaruwa, should not do that to their wife too. People with pen should not do that to their wives. This not say
Let them
because I'm
even try.
I'm
The
willing
woman
my
will not even wait
television.
for them to die.
I'm willing my television and my chair for you. You should not remarry. Don't carry my television to another man's house. They should know what they are doing. But before we know it, you see people with television and two couch. Not saying you carry my couch to another man's wife, another man's house. I'm going to you. When the Lord is talking, thank you so much for your time, Tayo, for today. Thank you, Rotunde, and every other people that joined us. It was really good conversation. I had a good time. Thanks, Bro Shogo, also for joining today. See you again some other time next week. Bye.